Traders, welcome back to the channel. Let's do the quick AMC rundown. This morning looks absolutely gorgeous. We're getting one step closer to that range. And what has that short borrow rate eventually hit at this point? We're getting closer to that target as well. You know, these morning videos are actually starting to grow on me because I usually produce them like at 10 a.m. It's kind of like right when I'm getting out of the chair, you know, my morning routine, looking at some stocks and stuff like that. Might grab a cup of coffee, just chill with you and me, you know, me and the traders, me and the people. You know, this might be the morning sauce with Tyler, if you will. We might name the show that. Who knows what's going to happen? But let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight to the content. Like, subscribe. Let's get to it.
Your money.
Okay, so the first thing up, we're looking at the price. We're sitting at $10.28. We actually had a push almost up to $10.60 early this morning. Now, I'm going to get into the Nasdaq here in a sec, but the Nasdaq's getting absolutely obliterated. And you're seeing that short pressure coming on AMC as well, but it is not holding the price down. And it looks like we're about to start getting that push, so let's dive into the borrow rate. Now, we ended yesterday at 81.8%. We started the day off there, and then we moved up to 89.4%. As you can see, the shares available are increasing, and that's what I'm meaning by we're getting that short pressure, but it's almost getting to that point where it's like, I don't know if they can even add more shorts at this point. It's getting so expensive, and to bet short right now, it's just not lucrative at all because you're getting put such in a hole, and the risk is so much at this moment now. So not only do you have to worry about the unlimited risk on the top, but now you have to actually hit a certain point in the profits to even turn a profit on adding more shorts at this level. So it's almost like you can't even average down if you're a short position right now. And what I mean by that is, like, if we're looking at AMC and your initial buy-in was $10 and we drop down to $8, you might buy some more to average your position down to about $9, correct? Now, if you're on the short side, you can't really do that because the fees are just stacking up because you're not actually buying those shares. You're buying the right to buy those shares later on. So technically you're borrowing those shares, and that's where this comes into play. I think I explained that pretty simple. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be the short volume ratio that we saw yesterday. That was 23%, and the volume was pretty good yesterday. We almost hit 50 million, and the day before, like I mentioned, they actually did update that back to 41 million, just so you know. But I want to talk about how we kind of seen this fluctuate in the past few days. Okay, so I'm actually going to hold my iPad for this one. So everyone was freaking out when we saw this 37.5%, but it's worth noting that was one of the lowest volume days that we have seen on AMC. So take that with a grain of salt, because if you come back over, you saw we only had 15 million in volume. That was pathetic. That was one of the worst. That was the worst day in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then today, yesterday we sat at almost 23%, and you can see we're actually almost double that total amount that was actually shorted, actually almost triple. So that's worth mentioning as well. So we're still getting that same amount of short volume coming in. There's just buyers coming in as well. And I believe a lot of retail is jumping back into the ship now. Not that retail ever left, but now more FOMO is coming in as well. And everyone's now talking about AMC. And this is kind of what I was mentioning on Sunday and Monday, was this is what we expected. It's going to be a slow, gradual, people just getting in, and it's going to take off. In my opinion, this could last about 2, maybe 3 weeks. We'll have to see how long it takes. GameStop did take a little bit of time. If you remember, we pushed up to 35, we stagnated, and then we pushed up again, and then we just erupted, and that took about a 2-week period of time. It was at the end of January when you saw that massive push, but it really did begin about the 10th to 15th of January, and then just flowed all the way till the end of the month, and that's when AMC popped and caused all these other meme stocks to bump up as well. So I want you to take that into account, that this will take a little bit of time, but it will be a slow, gradual trend, and then most likely just a quick pop. Okay, so on the chart, the first thing I want to mention is that I did want to go over this yesterday, how I mentioned we were most likely going to break over that top, which we usually don't double top on the OBV. We broke above, it came down and retested, and now breaking back up. It looks like it's starting. This is the exact movement that we wanted on the OBV. And like I said, typically the OBV leads the price because volume is the most important factor, especially when it comes to something like AMC, because you're going to need lots of volume to start getting those shorts to start to cover those positions, and maybe even getting that gamma squeeze, because if we can close high enough, things will get very, very interesting. And then looking at the actual stock price, you couldn't ask for anything better. Now, the close that we had yesterday wasn't the best. We wanted to close above 10.12, and if you were in the live at the end of the day, we closed at about 10.6. And it looked like we had that push, but then it like pushes back down, so it was a little weird. But ultimately, we held above VWAP, which still remained with that bullish trend and looked really good. Since then, we've been trending like right below. We come back down, and then we're kind of riding sideways, and it looks like we're trying to break out of this local high right here, this 1030 range. And if I believe if we hold above that, basically on the 15, maybe the 30-minute chart, we'll start to see that influx of volume kicking back in. Once we start holding above 1030, 1035, I believe it's gonna be a really quick run up to 1120 and possibly that 1220 range once again that we saw previously, because we really didn't see too much resistance at that $11 range. It was at 1220, 1250 range that has given us the most trouble in the past, and that's what I want everyone to be focused on, is because I don't think the $11 range will be that huge of a level, but breaking past those levels, that's when we're gonna start getting that trend, getting that momentum, carrying on into the end of the week. I see us closing the week pretty strong personally. If we were gonna dip, the time to dip would have been any of these past 3 days, because let's look at the Nasdaq really quick. So this is something you love to see. When AMC is outperforming the market, it tells you something good is going on. Now everything besides AMC and oil is down. Yes, I said oil, so if you've been in the Discord, congratulations, you're making money on that end as well, and the Discord link is down below if you're interested.
Help me help you.
But no pressure there. I still make videos and updates every single day on most of the stuff that I'm going over. So that's the really important part. So if you want to see every option trade, yeah, the Discord is down below. But looking at AMC and looking at the Nasdaq's getting obliterated. So if you're in anything besides AMC and oil, most likely you are getting shot down to the ground. But congratulations, you're in AMC. The apes are finally doing something good. Tears of joy are flowing from the cheeks, baby. So this looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like we might get a little bit of a push back down, but AMC seems to not care, and it's really showing, like I said, the overall strength behind the stock as well, even with more shares becoming available on iBorrow desk. So that's important to know. A few things I want to cover before I get out of closing. Now, I had calls going into May 14th for the end of this week. That was only about $2,000, $1,900 worth. Those did turn into profit. I had to get out of those because I have about $8,500 and $9,000 on options going for the 28th of May. Now I have to maintain some sort of risk management and mitigate as much risk as possible. So I did cut these Fridays off because the theta is going to start to kill us. Now that doesn't mean I'm not confident in the stock. I still have $9,000 in options that are in profits as well, but I have to mitigate and be smart about how I'm playing these options. So I'm not telling anyone to sell, anyone to do anything like that. I'm just saying what I'm constantly preaching to people. You're in charge of your own money. You're in charge of your finances. There's no one else to blame but you. So if you lose money, don't blame me. Don't blame another YouTuber. Look in the mirror and blame yourself, because you need to know what you're doing and you need to be responsible for what you're doing. All in all, I do see AMC performing very well towards the end of the week, but if you have options for this week, things could just get interesting, and I don't ever hold an option until expiration. That's just not smart, and that is not how you maximize your profits. However, I see the May 28th ones doing incredible, and I do see those catching the squeeze most likely, which will turn a pretty nice penny. However, going into the end of the day, I want to see a nice move above 1030, 1035. If we hold there, I think this thing has the room to absolutely start exploding, and then if we can get the Nasdaq and some indexes behind us as well, the thing's gonna absolutely go insane. I've been saying the whole time, and that's really what I want. But like I said previously, in January, we didn't have the Nasdaq or indexes behind us. It was just GameStop, and it was just AMC, and it was just the moon, and that's all that happened. Yes, I said the moon. Have a good one, traders. Like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Namaste.
A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than